Welcome to the SOB radio show, where we have fun, interesting guests, and hot topics. Each week, we offer insights into music, fashion, health, fitness, and humor. Do you have the perfect guest for us to interview? I want to know. Drop me a line on our Facebook page at SpunkyOldBroad1 or reach out to me on our website at SpunkyOldBroad.com. And now, back to the show. We have a very interesting guest this morning and this afternoon. She is someone who lives both in France and in the United States, and she's lived a very different and exciting life. She is Millen Livis, and Millen is a financial independence mentor and a thought leader in the female financial empowerment movement. She's a graduate of the acclaimed Wharton Business School, holder of a master's degree in physics, a certified NLP practitioner, and a certified instant miracle energy healer. She combines her traditional and holistic education to help professional women grow wealth faster and make their money work for them with the MILLENnaire Method, her holistic system for creating financial independence. By working with Millen, clients learn to think and act strategically about money, manage money intentionally so they keep more of it, invest strategically so they grow and protect their wealth, and create multiple streams of income so that they experience more personal freedom and create their pathway to financial independence. Well, Millen, that's an awful lot for you to get a woman to do. So welcome to the show. And we'll let them see what you have to say that will help them get to this point. So, I guess, first of all, you're living in two countries, so you kind of live two different lives. But again, you're creating this holistic system. And does it work for women everywhere, no matter what their financial conditions or the worth of their dollars, money, whatever? Is your advice the same depending on where they live?
Great question. And first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's an honor and pleasure. So thank you to your listeners for listening to us today. And it's a great question because I believe that there are some fundamental principles that underlie creating lasting wealth. And I always emphasize lasting wealth because there are a lot of people who tend to seek for overnight financial windfall. And I believe in creating lasting wealth. So there are underlying principles that work in any country. And the principles that I'm referring to, I believe, are the four pillars in my method. Because when we talk about mindset, that's pretty universal regardless where you live, right? When we talk about managing money intentionally, it's pretty universal regardless of where you live. When we're talking about principles of strategic investing, and I will, if you want, we can talk a little bit more about this. It's also pretty universal. And the fourth pillar in my method is what I call practical spirituality, basically accelerating your efforts by being connected to your inner power. So the quick answer would be yes, it is universal. What I teach, and of course, financial independence means different things for different people, and the plan needs to be personalized because I don't believe in cookie cutter, but the principles are universal.
Well, I think we should let our audience know what Millen is all about and what drives you. And believe it or not, listeners, she chose to leave a comfortable, well-paying Wall Street career, and then she also left a comfortable 23-year-old marriage. So the fact that you say it was comfortable and that you left it, that's kind of intriguing. And then, of course, we want to know what inspired you to publish your best-selling book. So let's find out, why did you, first of all, leave your comfortable, well-paying Wall Street career?
$1 million question. Well, I happen to believe that we live, there is a purpose for our lives. And I personally really always wanted to live a meaningful life. Life that will not only reflect taken from society, but also given to society. So when I was working on Wall Street, basically, I felt that I was just, doing the same thing all the time. I was helping Wall Street folks to get better lives, etc. Right? So improve their bottom line. But for me, it was very important that my life has not only meaning, but basically aligned with my values. So this alignment with my values is at the core of my decisions usually and choices. So because freedom is one of my core values, and I want to feel free to have to do what I want, when I want, and wherever I want. And this inner drive, helped me to step out of the comfort zone in my career as well as in my marriage. And I say comfortable because financially it was very satisfying, right? So it was a high six-figure salary. It was, my marriage was financially very comfortable as well because we both had good salaries, etc. But it was not satisfying. It was not fulfilling. At some point, I felt like I was dying inside. And it was very challenging to walk away from something that is comfortable. But
it's interesting, Millen, that you say, it's interesting how we use words, because you're using the word, my marriage was comfortable, but I was dying inside. To me, that's not being comfortable. To me, that's, oh my gosh, one more day like this, I can't take it. So it's very interesting how we use words, because I would not say it was comfortable if I was not living a true full life. So that's interesting. So what inspired you to publish your books?
Yeah, I just want to correct. When I say comfortable, I meant financially comfortable. That's what
a lot of people, but I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people don't leave a marriage because it's financially comfortable, and they're miserable inside. And that's what I guess drives some people to drink and other things. But a lot of people, if they are financially comfortable, they don't make a change. And it's very sad. So I commend you for doing that, because a lot of people would have just stayed there forever. So, I just think it's important for our listeners, because there's many of them that, the kids are gone now, they're empty nesters, it's just them, the two of them, and they're not happy anymore. Well, probably they were never happy together. It was just, I got into this. I thought this was the right thing. I thought I was in love, but times have changed, and he has changed, and I have changed. So it makes a big difference. It really does.
Yes, and I also want to confirm that it's very challenging in many ways to leave something that you've been in for many years. Like, when I made this decision, my family basically stopped talking to me because they were not supporting me. So it was challenging not only financially, but in terms of support as well. And I know that a lot of women are in a similar situation that I used to be in. At work, they are doing things because that's what they were told that they supposed to do. In the relationship, they may be in a relationship that maybe worked some time ago, but then stopped working, but they keep this inertia going, and they stay the way they are. And then they, at the end of their lives, they look back and think that, oh my God, why I wasted my life. I know so many women who have this thoughts in their mind that, I wasted 20 years, 15 years, 30 years. So I didn't want to live with regrets. And that's how I try to live my life.
Well, no, that's great, but I do know that there certainly are a lot of people who, just stay stuck there. So let's get back to your books. What inspired you to publish them?
That's an interesting story, because I don't know if you call it inspiration. It was a state of being pregnant with the information, with the knowledge and experience that I needed to get out, because I never was aspired to be a writer. So these books happened in my life because I felt like I needed to get it out. I needed to write down the first book was A Shift Toward Purpose. I needed to write about my journey from being a professional career woman working on Wall Street to becoming an entrepreneur, and what drove me to this different lifestyle and different mindset and different values. So that was the first book. And the second book was about financial independence. It's called A Shift Toward Abundance, because I wanted to share my knowledge and experience about perceiving money, perceiving wealth in its dual states. Because I believe that money has an energetic aspect and physical aspect. So that's why, some people have this beliefs that, money is unattainable for them, et cetera, et cetera. This aspect of money being a form of energy that you can, I don't like word attract, but you can resonate with, is very important. That's why I teach wealth mindset. So you become wealth amplifier instead of wealth consumer. It's how you perceive money, how you think about money, very important. But also there is a practical aspect of money and wealth that I think is very important. And I think some people in this age of manifestation and spirituality, they feel sometimes that they can manifest anything, and they don't think about practical aspect of money or physical aspect of money. And that's why in this book I talk about duality of money, and I also talk about how to deal with money in practical terms, how to make more money by investing, by strategic investing, different forms of investing. So how to create multiple streams of income. So that's why I felt I wanted to write this second book, because it's I think very important, especially for women, to be aware of this duality of money and leverage both.
Well, that's great. The other thing is, and this is interesting, of course, is that you've been financially independent for over 10 years now. But I have to ask you, what made you want to be a financial independence mentor for women instead of spending time in your beautiful villa in the south of France? Most people, you see all these movies made. Oh, I'm going to move to Tuscan in Italy. Oh, I'm going to move to this villa in the south of France. Oh, I'm going to, and you did it. So what's the story behind your mission?
Well, I guess the word that you used at the bottom of this, it's a mission, because I feel that our experiences are given us or happen to us for a reason. And I believe that anything that we were able to overcome, it's a great tool to help other people. So we cannot live in isolation in life, and life is much more than enjoying or possessing beautiful homes and beautiful, having beautiful trips and beautiful cars, and nothing wrong with this possessions, nothing wrong with this wants. But when I see, and I meet a lot of women, I go to different conferences, retreats, and when I see that many women used to live or still live in a state of fear, obligation, and guilt. I call it FOG, F-O-G, fear, obligation, and guilt. Many women still live in this state. And some, and not just, people who don't make a lot of money, but some women who are high earners, they also have this bag lady effect that is known when women basically just afraid about their financial future, even though they make good money. So when I see this around me, I felt that there is something that I managed to create in my life that could change other people's perceptions and other people's experiences in life. And it confirmed, based on my work with my clients, I see these amazing transformations, and not only financial transformations, but basically the entire life, their relationships, their health, their self-perception, self-image, everything just completely transformed just from doing this work. So, money for me is a tool to help women to transform their lives.
Well, that's an important thing. But, as you said, money means something different to everybody. Financial freedom means something different to everybody. Some people just want to have enough money to pay their bills and live comfortably. Other people, as you pointed out, buy possessions, and certainly, in fact, I was just reading something from one of my mentors, and he was saying that he learned it from someone else in a very amazing place, but they said never spend money on something that you're not willing to lose and you only have one of. So I think that people look at money, depending on their background and where they live, in different ways. So people do have different definitions of what financial freedom means. So what is Millen's definition? What is yours?
Well, I mentioned earlier that one of my core values is freedom. So for me, being financially independent means living life on my terms, having freedom of time, freedom of location, freedom of choice, freedom of relationships. So that's what financial independence means for me, because I'm not crazy about having mansions and super fast cars or whatever, designer clothes. I mean, it's nice to have, but it's not what drives me. What drives me is to have freedom to live on my terms.
Well, that's the key, living on your terms, because what is great for one is not great for somebody else. There are certainly people who want to live, in the country and have very little, let's say, creature comforts and just enjoy nature and the outdoors. And then there are other people who want that big house with all the trimmings and everything else. And I just look at sometimes with the hurricanes and the fires and the floods and everything that happens. Those things go by the wayside very quickly. So. Yeah, it means different things to different people.
Very true.
Pardon?
Very true.
Yeah. So what I'm curious about is why, especially in this day and age, Millen, why so many people, women, don't believe that they can be financially independent. I mean, they've gotten to the point where they can get just about any job they want, although there's some, conflict in that. But I mean, here you were before these 10 years of financial independence, you were very successful on Wall Street. So why do women think they can't be financially independent?
Yeah, it's another good question, and I think there are many reasons for this very very real fact. And if I had to mention top three of them, it would be, in my opinion, it would be lack of financial knowledge, because a lot of women, they make a lot of money, but they don't keep a lot of money. The second reason would be a lack of confidence. They may think that, and I met a lot of women who didn't feel that it's possible for them because they were from, working class family. They were not taught that they can make money work for them, things like that. So the second would be lack of confidence. The third would be cultural conditioning. It's so prevalent in many cultures that women are not supposed to make money, women not supposed to be wealthy, women not supposed to invest. And it's very, very common among a lot of women, especially old generation. Well, I say old generation, my generation, that felt that way, right? And another reason could be because we don't have a role model who we could look at and say, well, if she could do it, I could do it. And that's one of my actually my motivation is to be a role model for many women, to show them that someone who actually went through very challenging time after I left my marriage. I was destitute. I was depressed. I was close to being suicidal, and yet I was able to turn my life around. So I want to be this lighthouse, so to speak, for those women who maybe need some inspiration.
Well, it's interesting. I find that women are much better money managers than men are. I mean, if they have their hand on money, if they can get their hands on the money, they're really good at managing it. Because think about even if you're going back to household situations, they can make a dollar stretch farther than anybody I've ever seen. So it's a way to, I guess, come into their own when they become independent at this. And we only have a few minutes left in this particular segment of our conversation with Millen. But Millen has this approach. She calls it the MILLENnaire Method, and it's a holistic system for creating financial freedom. And we're going to talk about that when we come back. But I think, Millen, you're an inspiration in a lot of different ways, because first of all, you're not from this country. So you came in and you created a tremendous life for yourself. Number two, you went to Wharton, which is a very difficult school, the Wharton Business School, and you got through it successfully and then went into Wall Street on this fabulous career. And then you had the guts to leave a marriage that was, as you say, comfortable but not fulfilling. And then you had the courage to go into business for yourself. So there's not a whole lot that you haven't done. And I think you're a perfect role model for our listeners who are thinking to themselves, could I do that? Is that in my future? Is it something that I could possibly attain? So when we come back, we're going to talk to her about her MILLENnaire Method, and we're going to talk about why she considers it holistic. And, there are some of you that think anything holistic is woo-woo, but it's not. It's just a different way of looking at something. And I think that's where should we say, the rubber meets the road. You have to really understand the approach, and you've got to live it and believe it and so forth. So, Millen, we'll talk about that when we come back. Stay with us, folks. I'm with Millen Livis, and Millen is going to tell us all about her holistic system when we come back.
Hi, This is Dr. Gayle, and I wanted you to know I have a whole bunch of other things to offer you. If you go to spunkyoldbroad.com, you will see an array of SOB stuff for sale and all our latest products and additions. If you're interested in getting on TV, I have a brand new course, Get on TV. And if you want to start your own business, you'll want my SOB Guide to Business Success. I know you'll love them all. I guarantee it.